Well, again, good afternoon. Welcome back. Mr. Bartel, your next witness.
Yes, I would call Carlena Toledo.
Okay, Mr. Toledo, we're going to have you testify. So if you would raise your right hand, we'll have you sworn in and then we'll proceed.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Bartel, when you're ready.
All right, thank you. Can you state your name for the record, spelling your last?
Yes, Toledo, Toledo, Carlena.
And do you know Chloe Project?
Yes, I do.
And how do you know her?
She's my grandbaby.
Okay. And so are you the mother of Taylor Morgan?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And how long have you known or been involved in Chloe's life?
Since she was born.
And was there a time period where she lived with you?
Yes.
Okay. I guess let me ask, so was there more than one time period where she lived with you?
Yes.
Okay. I guess tell me the first time she lived with you.
While she was pregnant, her and Orie lived with us.
When you say she, you mean Taylor?
Yes, Taylor and Orie lived with us while she was pregnant. And then till about 8 or 9 months after Chloe was born, they moved out, got their own little place for about 19 months. And then she moved back in my home again.
Okay. So that first period, you said about 8 or 9 months. Could you describe to the court your involvement in taking care of Chloe?
Um, I would sometimes when Chloe got up in the middle of the night I would feed her so they could sleep in. Um, I would play with her when they wanted to go out for their date nights or whatever. I would watch her.
And I guess, would you purchase items for your daughter or your granddaughter
Yes, I
during
do.
that time period? Okay. And what would you all purchase?
We helped her with food or clothes or toys.
And obviously the housing.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And I guess walk me through what kind of activities you did with Chloe at that time period. I understand she was really young, but what kind of activities would you do with her?
Um, as far as like playing, like
Well, if there was anything, did you read stories to her?
yeah, well, she was still real little, but yes, read stories. We played with her and I rocked her to
Okay.
sleep. I did a lot with her.
Okay. Did you give her any baths?
Yes, gave her baths. Yep.
And if she was sick at any time, would you help out when she was sick?
Yes.
And so did that continue on once she moved out? Like Taylor, Orie, and Chloe moved out of your house? Did you continue to go over to Orie and Taylor's place to help out?
Yes. I'd go over there to see her and play with Chloe and I'd help her do her laundry and we'd go to lunch. We'd go to Red Lobster for lunch. Me and Chloe and my mom and Taylor. Um Jamie, I sometimes Jamie would go there and check up on them and see what they were up to, and because we really didn't want them to move out, so we kind of went over there a lot to see what they were doing and to see Chloe.
Did there come times when you were actually keeping Chloe overnight?
Oh yeah, of course.
During that time period, is what I mean when they had moved out. So was it quite frequent that you would watch Chloe overnight?
Yeah, on the weekends.
Okay. Almost on a weekly basis?
Yes, every week.
And that was because Ori and Chloe, or Ori and Taylor would go out?
Yeah, and go do things, or, if they wanted to go out or whatever, we were always there to help and watch her. I would, even if I had plans, I would cancel plans for them to go. I'd watch her. I'd stop my plans to be with her.
And why would you do that?
Cause I love her. She goes first.
And did you have a close bond with Chloe at that time?
Yes, I am. Yep.
And I guess at that new stage, were you playing more with Chloe? Was she walking around?
Yes.
And if you could describe the additional activities you would do with Chloe at that particular juncture?
She's got a little playground out back of my house that we'd go play, and she has a little dollhouse, has a doorbell, like a real house outside. We'd go out there and play, and take her to Chuck
So
E.
when you would
Cheese.
when you would watch Chloe during that time period, would you do the laundry for her?
Yes, I'd help them do laundry. Yep.
Okay. And you would cook for her and clean for her?
Yeah, I always cook for everybody. When I cook for the whole house.
Okay. And would you clean up after Chloe as well, or at least help clean up after Chloe?
Yes. I
At
helped
times,
clean up. Yes.
and at times, did you help with her bathing?
Yes.
And did you continue to purchase things such as clothing and the necessities for her?
Yes.
Now, I guess I want to focus on the next stage. There came a point when Ori and Taylor split up. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you recall approximately when that was?
Um, it was about Chloe was probably 1.5, maybe. So I can't recall exactly.
Okay. So about 4 years ago or so,
Yes,
or 5 years ago, I mean.
correct.
Okay. And so did Taylor move back in with you?
Yes.
Okay. And at some point, what was the custodial arrangement, the parenting time between Ori and Taylor?
They had a week on, a week off.
Okay. And so you would see Chloe during that time period every other week,
Yeah, for a whole week straight,
and you would see her every day.
every day.
Okay. And how long did that go on, approximately?
Until I think it was 2 years later when he tried to get full custody, and then she had to go to every other weekend and every Wednesday.
Okay. So that continued though on for a couple of years where you were seeing her every single day, every other weekend.
Yes, every other, yes.
And so can you describe what kind of bond you had formed with Chloe at that time?
A very special bond.
Okay.
I was to the point where I couldn't even go to, there's 4 or 5 people at my house and I'd go to the bathroom and she had to follow me and watch me and sit with me until I got done.
So she would follow you around the whole house?
Yeah, if I left to go cook, she would leave Papa and everybody and have to watch me cook.
Did she ever approach you if she ever had an issue or a problem?
Yeah, like if she felt like she got hurt or something playing outside, or like she thought she hurt her finger or something and she was hurt, she'd always come to me before anybody that was there to comfort her.
And you would be cooking still at that time for her?
Yes,
And would you help out again with bathing and putting her to bed?
yes,
Would you continue reading stories to her?
yes.
And all of that continued up until Mr. Cronkite at the end of November 2023 decided that you should not see Chloe anymore.
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to try to expedite this a little bit. So when I say these things or ask you about these things, I'm going to include coming up until 2023. Okay.
Okay.
Would she openly show signs of affection to you?
Yeah, when she would walk in the door, she would ask me, she'd say, Nana, right when she come over.
Objection,
Nana.
hearsay.
Sustained. Ms. Toledo, you can't say what the child says.
Oh, okay,
You can say what happened and what you observed,
Okay.
but not what somebody said.
okay. She would walk in the door and she wanted love. She wanted me to lay down and love her.
Okay. And would you do that?
Yes,
Okay. And was that the only time she wanted or showed signs of affection to you?
no, all the time.
In which ways would she show it?
She just like would always want to tell me, well, she'll just be playing or on her iPad and she'll just stop and be like, Nana. And I'll be like, what?
Oh.
She said, I love you.
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained. I'll strike the answer.
How would I say it?
I mean, was she always physical with you? Like always touching
Yes.
you, hugging you?
Yes, always on me, like, always had to be on me or real clingy. She was very clingy.
And when she was sick, would you help out when she was sick?
Yes,
And was she involved in any extracurricular activities up until the time that you did not see her anymore?
I found out that she was put in dance.
Was that while you were still seeing her or after?
After. While I was
Okay.
seeing her, he wanted her to be a dirt bike rider. So he had asked us to provide for her gear and all her protection and bikes and stuff. So we bought everything he wanted so she could be a dirt bike rider.
So when you say he, you mean Orie Cronkite?
That's correct.
Okay, so he wanted her in certain activities such as the dirt biking, and you provided all the financial support for that?
Correct.
Any other activities that you can think of that she was involved with up until the time that you have not seen her recently?
No,
Would you help her with any educational stuff whatsoever, whether it
Yeah,
be reading, writing, or anything?
we would always buy books that had the letters and numbers. so she could draw over it and learn how to do her numbers. And she would always she'd sit at her desk and she wanted me to, she'd say, how do you spell Papa?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
I did, I
What
would,
what did she want you to do?
to like write and show her how to spell our names. She wanted me to teach her how to spell Papa, wanted me to teach her how to spell Jasmine, how to spell Tyler, how to spell Granny. She wanted, so we would teach her and we would tell her the letters and she would write them down on a notebook. We just,
And those
we did all kinds of,
And the names of those people, are those family members?
yes, that live in my home.
And so she would see those people on a regular basis?
Correct.
And just generally, there's been some mention of providing financially. Have you routinely provided financial help for the support of Chloe?
Yes.
Okay. And would that include any payments to Mr. Cronkite or his wife?
We would help them with clothing. I bought her son and Chloe's school pictures. I tried to help her and do whatever I could, whatever they asked us to do, we tried to help and provide for her.
And where do you work right now? Okay, and how long have you been working there?
I've been there 3 years now.
Okay. And do you have the ability to, I guess, adjust your working schedule or hours to help with Chloe?
Yes, I do.
And did you do that in the past?
Yeah, I took her to work with me sometimes.
And was that because, were there times that Mr. Cronkite or his wife wanted you to take Chloe that you would have to change your hours at work to be able to take
Yes.
Chloe?
Yes.
Okay. And you were willing to do that, obviously?
Oh, anything they asked, we would do for them.
Would you ever take or help take Chloe to her medical appointments?
I've been to a couple dentist appointments. I took her, but that was during when my daughter had part custody. I took her to the hospital when Kelsey got in a car accident. She wanted me, and I didn't want my daughter to go because I didn't want problems because she was already upset that Chloe had been in the car. So I took her to the hospital, but that's about it, I think.
Okay. When Chloe had to go back home, when it was week on, week off, were there issues trying to get her to go home?
Yes.
Can you describe those to the court?
She'd be on the floor and cry and asked Papa to call her dad to see if she could just
Objection,
stay
hearsay.
one more night.
Sustained. Ms. Toledo, just mention
sorry.
again, you can't say what she said. You can say what you observed, what you saw, but not what the child said.
Okay. She would cry, be upset, that she had to leave.
Okay. Did she seem depressed that she had to leave?
Yes,
Okay. Um, and was that pretty routine, I guess?
yes,
Okay. And did that continue up until November 23 when um Mr. Cronkite decided to not let you see Chloe anymore?
yes,
So during that time period, she would still not want to go home and would be sad and depressed.
correct.
Okay. During that time period leading up to, let's say that year and a half or so leading up to November of 23, how was Chloe when she would actually be dropped off at your place?
She was real like real tight, like real quiet, kind of weird. I don't know, it was weird. Like she was just real stiff and I can't explain it. I don't know how to explain it. Um, explain it.
But then when she was with you, would she open up?
Yeah, as soon as she pulled out of the as soon as she pulled out of the driveway, she would look out the window and wait for her to pull out the driveway and would just be like let loose, like she was free. I don't know. I can't. She was
When you
happy.
when you
She
when
was
you
happy.
say when you say that she pulled out of the driveway, who are you referring to?
Kelsey Cronkite.
Okay, so would Kelsey be the one that would routinely drop her off at your house?
Yeah, she's the one I always dealt with. I've never dealt with Orie ever.
Okay. Would Ori pick up Chloe much?
Barely. Maybe
Okay.
10% of the time.
And so would it be Kelsey that would usually pick her up then?
Yes.
Okay. And so you, just so I'm clear, you're saying Chloe would look at the window and watch Kelsey leave, and then she would get all happy after that?
Correct.
Okay. And that was pretty routine during the time period that she would drop her off and pick her up?
Yes.
Okay. And when she had to go back home, even up until 23, how would she act?
The same. It's always been the same.
Okay.
She don't want to leave. She gets upset and gets depressed.
So, um, let me ask you, have you ever been physical with your own children?
No, never.
Okay. Do you have any history of physical, emotional, or sexual abuse or neglect of any child of yours?
No, never.
Do you want to still encourage a close relationship between Chloe and Ori despite all of this?
Well, of course. He's the father of my granddaughter.
Okay. How do you feel towards Ori right now?
I'm hurt, but I love him.
Do you wish this could all be worked out?
Of course.
And for why do you say that?
Because the little girl's involved here. I mean, we gotta all get along.
Have you at any time ever told Chloe that Orie Cronkite is not her father?
Absolutely not. Never. I don't know where that came from.
Have you ever taken Chloe to some random house on a Wednesday and for her to see her quote unquote true father, someone other than Orie Cronkite?
Absolutely not.
Have you ever been physical with Chloe?
No.
Have you ever punished her?
No, she's a little kid. There's nothing that she can do to be punished. I mean, she's a little kid. She's still learning.
Do you have any mental or physical health issues?
No.
Do you believe that you're a morally fit grandparent?
Yes, I do.
Would you take Chloe to church or anything like that?
Yes.
And what church?
Christ Alive on the corner of McAllister and Bellevue Road.
Okay. And how long did you take her there?
She's been there probably 10 times. You know, we had her not baptized, but we had her given to God. We got a certificate for her. We had her blessed by the pastor.
So did she enjoy going to church the best you could tell?
Oh yeah, she loved it. She made me all kinds of little ornaments downstairs in the basement in the kids' class. I still have them all.
So when Chloe was with you, did you view your role as partly like a parent role?
Yeah,
Could you describe why you say that?
because she was with us all the time. She lived with and we had her all that a whole week. Week on, week off. She was with us 24/7 for that whole week in our home with my daughter. We got a bond. That's what happened.
And you performed a lot of the roles that a mother would as well over the last 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
Did there come any times years ago in which Mr. Cronkite or his wife would withhold Chloe from you?
Yes.
Okay, can you describe the previous times? I'm talking about prior to November of 23.
Yeah, that was about 2.5 years ago, I think it was, that they took her from us for 7 months. They got mad at me because I was accused of, every time she was at my house, I was accused of something every time. It was either I got in trouble for allowing her to talk to her mom, or I got in trouble for taking her shopping, or talking about her mother all weekend. And I lost her for 7 months.
Do you remember, you said that was about 2.5 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. Or 7 months leading up to 2.5 years ago, or they took her away 2.5 years?
Yeah, they took her from us 2.5 years ago. We
Okay.
got in trouble for something we did, or they got mad about. So they took her from us, so we didn't see her for 7 months.
Was there any other time that you recall in the last 4 or 5+ years that they did that?
No, just
Okay.
not till now. I haven't seen her in almost 10 months.
Okay. And what led to, I guess, the repairing of that relationship, or that you got to see Chloe again?
Kelsey came to my house and had Chloe with her, and she wanted to let me know that it was important that Orie didn't know she was at my house, but that she couldn't take it anymore, that Chloe missed us, and that it was important that we remained in Chloe's life for her mental health. So then we got to start seeing her again.
Okay. And was that then on a routine basis that you got to see, or help us understand how that came about then? How often you saw her?
He started working for Jamie. So
And when you say he, you mean Orie?
yes, Orie Cronkite started working for Jamie Morgan right after that. So we all became really close. So ever since then, the past 2.5 years, we've all been like really close. Like they were Jamie and him were like best friends. We treated him like he was our son.
Did Orie ever indicate to you how much he appreciated you and Jamie taking care of Chloe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Now, you had mentioned communication. Part of the breakdown at that time was you were allowing communication with Taylor as she was incarcerated at that time. Is that correct?
Yes. I got in trouble for that.
Okay. So when she was incarcerated at that time, you facilitated communication between Chloe and Taylor at that time.
Correct.
Okay. And how long was Taylor incarcerated at that time?
I can't recall, Aaron.
Okay. And I guess as of most recent, so the time period leading up to November 2023. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I want to focus on that now. When did your, I guess, time period, the month and year where you reconnected with Chloe until November 23?
Oh, so was it 22? It was, you got me remember, Jamie. 22, was it 21? When did you start working? I can't remember. 22. It was 21. It was like maybe April or before April, because we got to go to her birthday. So it was probably in March of 21.
Okay, so about March 2021 until November 2023 was that period of time, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so during that time period, did you facilitate communication between Chloe and her mother?
Yes.
There was testimony that Taylor had gone into, let me rephrase that she had gone into jail in approximately June of 2022. So from June of 2022 until November 2023, did you on a regular basis facilitate communication between Chloe and her mother?
Yes.
And how did that communication go? I mean, was Chloe excited about that?
Yeah. Of course.
Okay. Could you describe how those conversations went without actually speaking what was said?
She was happy.
Okay.
But she wasn't depressed afterwards either. It wasn't, she was fine. I mean,
Okay. So I want to go to November of 2023. Were you confronted by Kelsey, and or Orie regarding,
yes,
regarding Chloe?
yes.
And I guess describe that to the court.
Well, I had her from Friday to Sunday. And she went home. And I received a text message Monday, accusing me and Jamie of talking about my daughter all weekend in the text messages. And I said, no. And then I was told, so your granddaughter's lying, huh? And I said, I'm not gonna say she's lying. I'm not going here with you again today. Because every time I had her, it was always I did something wrong. And that's what we got. She got upset with me because she accused me of talking about my daughter all weekend, and that Chloe went
I'm
home
gonna
and I made
object,
her
Your Honor.
depressed.
I believe I heard Miss Carlena say she was saying something, and if it's she, if it's Kelsey, then it's hearsay. If it's Orie, then I think it might be admissible.
Your Honor, it doesn't go to actually to the proof to prove the truth of the matter asserted. It actually goes to what actually occurred here and how the breakdown of the relationship as to here. So that's my position.
Well, it goes to the truth of that, so it goes to the truth of something. So I'm going to sustain the objection.
Okay. So what was your general understanding as to why you couldn't see your granddaughter anymore?
Because I talked about my daughter and I made her depressed.
Okay. Did you ever did Kelsey ever confront you about putting pictures up in Chloe's bedroom? Or that there was pictures of
Yes.
Taylor up in Chloe's bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. And what did she say to you?
How it was bullcrap that I just keep putting pictures up when I know that she don't like it because it's making my granddaughter depressed. And I said, I didn't put them pictures up. I said, I made Chloe a baby book a year and a half, 2 years ago, and she loves that baby book. Well, she got in the baby book and took some pictures out and put them on her dresser. And I got in trouble for that because I'm supposedly making Chloe depressed.
So were you threatened that you wouldn't be seeing Chloe if you didn't take those pictures down?
Correct.
Okay. And did you oblige and take those pictures down then?
Oh, I sure did. I'll do anything just not to lose her. Whatever
Did you?
they told me, I did. They told me I wasn't allowed to go to. It wasn't Orie. Kelsey told me. Orie never ever once came to me and told me I wasn't allowed to do anything. It was always her. He never asked me to stop anything ever.
So let me ask you this. So it was always Kelsey. Was she acting as the parent? Was that your impression?
Objection,
Correct.
speculation.
Well, no, it's just her impression.
Well, I guess you can make an impression insofar as she observed that, but I
Yeah.
don't think you can say a generalized statement though, but if you can qualify it.
Sure. So would Kelsey come to you and dictate a lot of things like a parent would with their own child as to what you can and cannot do with regards to Chloe?
Yes, it was her, never him.
Okay. Would Kelsey have the parameters of everything that you could or could not do, like a parent would do with their own child?
Correct.
Okay. And it was almost never that Orie was coming to you as the father to tell you all these things.
No, and I seen him every morning before work. Every morning, he never told me nothing, ever. He never asked me, Carlena, can you please stop doing this? Can you please stop? Nothing ever, not once, ever. They told me to stop. She told me to stop, take her to the
Oh,
Chuck E.
okay.
Cheese. and I
Objection.
stopped.
What's the objection, Ms. Reed?
Hearsay, because she's saying she again.
Well, I think we can all understand that she's referring about Miss Concrete, not Chloe.
So,
I
so
mean,
Carlena,
she'd already testified to that anyway, so I'm going to overrule the objection.
Carlena,
I
did there
quit taking Chloe.
No,
I-
Carlena, I need to ask the question.
Okay,
So Carlena, I want to back up. Was there a time that you had taken Chloe to the hospital in March of 2022?
yes.
And can you describe the circumstances surrounding that time?
She had been
Without
in a
your
car
say?
accident.
Okay. And so did you actually go to the actual place of the car accident?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you take Chloe?
Yes, we did.
And where did you take her?
We took her to the hospital, Kalamazoo.
And who's we?
Me and Jamie, her grandfather.
And did she have injuries?
Yes.
And could you describe those injuries?
She had lacerations to the right side of her neck where all the arteries were, so they were concerned. And she had abdominal bleeding coming out of her rear. And she had her hips were black and blue.
And did she have to spend the night at the hospital?
No.
So after she was at the hospital, was she put on any medication?
No.
So did Kelsey try to drop off Chloe earlier prior to that accident
Yes.
at your house? Okay. And
Her husband was there working on his truck before they were leaving to Florida.
okay. And so Orie was at your house too?
Yes.
And Kelsey would not leave Chloe with you at 5:30. Was that at approximately 5:30?
Yes.
Okay. And just for clarity, so you said Orie was at your house working on a truck.
Yes.
Okay. And how long had he been there that day?
Probably about 2-3 hours.
Was he working with your husband on the truck?
No, he was working with one of his buddies that knows how to work on cars.
And when Kelsey came, do you know if she ever went to talk to Orie?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And when you took Chloe to the hospital, was she clinging to you or wanting you?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you at any point in front of Chloe got into an argument with Orie or Kelsey?
No.
Do you think it would be appropriate to have those conversations in front of Chloe?
No.
And why is that?
She's a little girl. She don't need to be put in the middle and hear all that stuff.
She doesn't need to see hostility between anyone.
Exactly.
How often, when Taylor was incarcerated, how often would you have Chloe?
Well, I see Chloe more than I ever did when Taylor was out. Because when Taylor was out, I only seen her every other weekend and every Wednesday. And since Orie's been working for us the past 2.5 years, we were so close. We seen her on a daily, like a lot. Even like after the guys would get done working, we'd go over to their house and Jamie and him would hang out and I would go in Chloe's bedroom and play. Sometimes I'd put her to bed. I mean, we had a very close relationship with them. So we were seeing Chloe way more than we ever did when my daughter was home.
And so would she spend a number of nights over at your house on a routine basis?
Yes. Before
And
she
could you,
started school. Yeah, before she started school, I had her, they would let me get her on Wednesday and she got to stay the night. She would stay the night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and she'd go home Friday. And then periodically, whenever they wanted help or needed help or wanted, because we were close, they just call me on the weekend, or if they wanted to go do something, I'd take her for the whole weekend. And then after she started school, I was allowed to get her. She was letting me pick up Chloe every Wednesday off the bus at their home. And plus, they were letting us take her on the weekends for the whole weekend sometimes. Like we were close. They let me have her more then than I've ever had her when my daughter was home.
and during that time period, did Chloe show love and affection towards you?
Yes.
And was she happy to be with you?
Very happy. I sometimes felt like when there's people in the house and she's got to leave or stops playing to follow me to see what I'm doing, like she felt I was going to leave her or something. It was just weird.
And you were providing food, housing, toys, medical, and furniture for her?
Everything, whatever we could do to help them, we did it. And if I couldn't do it, I was at work, I'd call my mom and I'd give my mom the money and she'd go buy it and take it to their house. And then there was a couple times I got out of work and then I went over there and visited with them and I laid with her and chilled with her at their house. Like we were really close.
I have no further questions here.
Okay. Any cross-examination, Miss Reed?
Briefly, Your Honor. Miss Toledo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, ma'am.
Did you have a criminal charge last year for retail fraud and shoplifting in Emmett Township?
No, I did not.
So you were not charged. Your testimony, listen to my question very carefully. You were not charged with retail fraud and shoplifting in case 2023 C234198-OM.
No, I was not.
And so you're saying you never took a plea agreement to disturbing the peace and you didn't plead no contest to that.
No, I did not.
Do you use Facebook?
I did till about 6 months ago.
Do you recall posting on Facebook, which looks like to be a comment under one of your pictures, that in reference to not seeing Chloe, I know sick people putting us through all of this, all the money spent trying to keep her away from us is disgusting.
Yes, that's correct.
And you're referencing Orie and Kelsey in that post?
That it's sick, yes.
And did you also post on Facebook, he don't care about her or he wouldn't have kept her from us? She got her mom's love
Exactly.
through, let me finish, thank you. She got her mom's love through us. He ripped it all away from, I'm sorry. She got her mom's love through me. He ripped it all away from her. Wonder what they're telling the poor girl. We don't want her. We don't live here. They're the ones mentally destroying her.
Exactly, correct. That's correct.
And then you also posted, ripped it all away from her again for the second time, so sick, and to have the balls to say she don't even want us is even sicker.
Sicker, correct.
And you also posted, haven't given her to me. He isn't listening to the judge, now taking us to the Supreme Court. Can you believe this kid? He's sick. You have to hire an appellate attorney to go through the lawyer Supreme Court. He is disgusting.
Now you're talking about one post because you're acting like
Yes.
I posted 10 different posts. That was
These
one
are multiple, these are 4 different posts.
right. People are commenting. That was one post, not 6 or 7.
But you're calling him disgusting.
Correct. That's sick. It's disgusting. Correct. It is.
I have no further questions.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Bartel?
Just briefly, Ms. Toledo, are you saying that you had just posted one of those and other people were commenting? Or
Correct.
what is your stance on that?
Yeah, that was one. She was making me feel like I had 6 different. I kept putting stuff. That was one post, and people were commenting on it.
Okay.
So it's
And let me ask you, do you have your Facebook anymore?
no,
And why did you get rid of it?
because I couldn't take the comments and the things that their family were saying. And I don't want to see it anymore.
And do you realize or agree now in retrospect that it's not good to post anything online?
Yes, I do. That's why I got rid of it.
And you agree that that's just not conducive or helpful for this whole situation?
Correct. I understand.
And you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
I guess I do want you to say one thing. What type of grandparenting time are you seeking? If the court is willing to give you grandparenting time. Or,
Exactly what the judge gave my daughter and me the last time, every other weekend, every Wednesday, or I I just want to see my granddaughter. I don't care. Whatever.
you just want the contact with your granddaughter?
Yes.
May it please the court.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Ms. Reed?
Briefly, Miss Toledo, who's there with you? I saw someone peek in.
My husband?
Is there anyone else there with you?
No.
Okay, no further questions.
Okay, thank you. That concludes your testimony, Ms. Toledo. Mr. Bartel, next witness.
I would call Jamie Morgan.
Okay. Mr. Morgan, I'll have you raise your right hand. We'll have you sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Bartel.
Yes, can you state your name, spelling your last for the record?
J.B. Morgan, Morgan.
Do you know Chloe Cronkite?
Yes, sir.
And how do you know her?
She's my granddaughter.
Okay, and so Taylor Morgan is your daughter,
Yes.
and Carlena Toledo is your wife?
Well, we're not married, but yes, we've been together 33 years.
Okay, you've been together for 33 years.
Yes.
And do you know Orie Cronkite?
Yes.
And how do you know him?
Well, it's Chloe's father.
Okay. Well, let me start off, I guess, how was your relationship originally with Orie?
Beautiful. It was great.
And so I'm talking about are you talking about when your daughter started dating him?
Yeah, we've always had a great relationship up till the last till November. Always had a great relationship. Only one other time we had a little problem when he kept Chloe from us for 6 or 7 months in the past. But other than that, we've always had a great relationship.
And you had described at any point did he work for you?
Yes.
Okay. More than one time?
Yes, 2 times.
And what is your business?
Concrete business. We pour concrete, build pole barns, concrete construction business.
Okay. And what kind of work would Mr. Cronkite do for you?
He was a concrete finisher.
And I guess, do you still, I guess, do you love Orie like a son of yours?
Yes. Yeah, I still care about Orie.
Yeah.
Oh, I always will.
Have you tried to reach out to him recently?
A couple months ago, I tried reaching out to him. Yes. Just
Okay.
try to resolve everything, but he wouldn't respond.
I want to go back in time with regards to Chloe. Did she live with you at various times?
Yes.
And can you describe the first time that she lived with you?
The first time she lived with us, she was a newborn baby till she was like 8 months old or so. Her and Orie and Taylor all lived at our house.
And did you help care for Chloe at that time?
Yes.
Can you describe to the court what you did to care for Chloe?
Well, I mean, I just take care of her, whatever she needed, we'd help her out. I mean, back then she was so small, so her mom take care of her and Carlena would do most of it, but I just do, basic grandpa roles.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you provide financially for Chloe during that
Yes.
time?
Yes.
What would you pay for?
We would buy whatever, clothing, any kind of, we'd help them out with food. Just, basic necessities.
And so you said that was, so she's about 8 months old or so?
Yeah. Then they moved out.
Okay. Where did they move to?
Oh, they got a house in Urbandale.
Was that a house purchased by you and Carlena?
No, I didn't purchase the house. I believe their parents purchased the house, but we just went in on it with them and helped them renovate it. And I paid for like all the stuff to renovate it, the carpet, painting, all the tile floors, stuff like that.
Do you
But
know
no,
approximately? Oh, go ahead.
I said I believe their parents bought it for them. I'm not sure 100%.
Do you know approximately how much money you put into that house?
Yes, 5,000. As soon as they moved in, I put 5,000 into the house for them. For all
And
new carpet for the whole house.
And did you do personal work yourself on the house?
Yes. Orie and myself laid the kitchen floor and the dining room tile floor.
Anything else you did for the house?
That's about it. We'd help them out, doing yard work every now and then, but I helped them haul some stuff, clean the yard up a couple of times. That was about it.
So how often would you see Chloe during that time period?
Oh, quite often. Yeah, almost every day.
Okay.
Back then, yeah, we'd see them one way or another every day.
And would you guys get together a lot as a family for barbecues and such?
Yes. Yeah, their house and our house also.
And how often would that occur?
Oh, at least once a week we'd have dinner together, cook out or something, on weekends. Yeah, quite often. Back then when they were living together still.
And how long did they approximately live together?
So Chloe is about a year and a half. Or yeah, right after her first birthday, a couple months later, they like dissolved. So Chloe's probably 15, 16 months, somewhere in there. Just got back then, it's been a while, but yeah. I remember everything fell apart after her first birthday.
And what did you do with Chloe, I guess, during that period of time they lived in Urbandale? I mean, can you describe to the court your interaction with Chloe and what you did for her?
We play around at the house and play with her little toys and just interact as, like a grandfather. I enjoyed spending time with her. She was still little, but we couldn't do a whole lot, but yeah. We'd play around and
Well, let me ask you this. Did you ever change the diapers or feed or
no,
bathe
I
her?
never did the diaper work. No.
Was that Carlena and Taylor that were doing that?
Yes. Or Orie would do it too. He was good about that. I didn't like diapers.
Okay. And so you guys were all really close at that time period until they split. You said about 16 months old or a year and a half or so.
Yes.
And then did there come a time that Taylor moved home back to your house?
Yeah, right after that, she moved back home.
Okay. And was there a parenting time arrangement?
Yeah, her and Orie had a court deal, and they had arrangements made where they both had like 50-50 visitation. But she exercised all her rights at our house the whole time.
And did you see Chloe a lot during that time
Yes,
period? Okay.
yes.
And can you describe the love, affection, or other emotional ties that you had with Chloe at that time?
I mean, I love her dearly. What do you mean? Like,
Well, I mean, was there certain things you guys would do? Would she show affection to you?
oh yeah, yeah. We'd go outside and play. She'd ride her little she had a little gator, little remote, gator. She'd drive around the driveway and we go play on her swing set. I have a swing set in the backyard for her. She loved for Papa to push her on that all the time. She got a little Barbie house on my back porch. She'd want me to sit out there and play Barbies with her. Yeah. She was all about that.
Okay. And
She'd
would you
always
ever
say,
read
"Come on, Papa."
So would you ever read stories to her?
No, very rarely. I'd be early to bed. So Carlena would sit up and read stories. I'd pass out while they're playing around. I was always a early bird.
Did you see what Carlena did for Chloe at that time period?
Yes. Yeah, they would
Okay.
the same thing. They play Barbies in the bedroom and play dress up, makeup. They'd be taking bubble baths together. Or she would always want to make cupcakes with Nana. Just stuff like that. Yeah, they were really close.
And was Carlena making sure that Chloe was getting to bed at a decent hour?
Yes. Yes.
And was she ensuring the best that you understood? I mean, would she do any educational things with Chloe?
Yeah, they'd always be. They had like activity books. They'd work on those all the time, and they'd try to draw stuff and letters and words and stuff like that. She still got a bunch of those at the house.
And did all of that stuff continue up until November 23, except for that 6 or 7 month
Yes,
period you talked about?
yes.
Okay. So you guys, let me ask you this. Did you feel almost like a pseudo parent to Chloe with her being there all the time?
Yeah, kind of, because her mom was gone. So, but yeah, I kind of felt that way.
And during this whole time period, you felt like you had a very close bond with Chloe?
Oh, definitely.
And did she,
Yeah, she'd always come right up and grab me right by the neck and, "Papa, you're my best, Papa. You love me, Papa. Give me some loves." And yeah, she would tell me that every time I see her.
and I'm going to focus on this last period, about a year and a half or so, or a couple years prior to 2023, November 2023. Did Chloe, well, let me ask you, were you around when Chloe had to go back home much?
Yeah, yeah. Because usually she'd go home on Sunday, so I was there when she'd go home.
Okay. And was she sad and depressed when she had to leave?
Yeah, quite often she would be. Yeah, I tell her, "Come on, honey, you got to get your coat on. It's time to go home." She'd start fussing around, throwing a fit. Not every single time, but quite often.
Okay.
She didn't like it.
Okay. Would she cry sometimes?
Yeah. Did she tell me to call her dad? She, "Papa, call my dad."
Objection,
I'm like, "No, I
hearsay.
can't, honey."
Sustained. Mr. Morgan, you can't say what the child said. You can say what you
Oh,
observed, but you can't say what she said.
okay. Okay.
And so you guys were providing everything for her that a normal parent would to their own child?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so food, clothing, all the basic necessities, her furniture, toys.
Yes, she has a whole bedroom outfit at my house. So she has a whole setup.
Does she have her own bedroom at your place?
Yes.
So it wouldn't be accurate if someone else suggested it was really Carlena's bedroom.
No. Well, the Carlena will go in there and sleep sometimes because Carlena snores like a bear. And so I can't stand it. So she'll sometimes go in there and sleep so I can get sleep. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. But no, we share a bedroom together. But somehow she snores out of control. And I can't stand it.
If the court would give you grandparenting time, would you be willing to encourage a close relationship between Chloe and Orie?
Oh, yes. Yes, that's all I
And
want.
why?
That's all I want.
And why would you encourage a close relationship still between Chloe and her father?
Well, it's her father. I mean, they're supposed to have a good relationship. Ori's a good father. I've never said he's not. I give the guy that he's a great father for a young man for 3 kids. Ori's a great father. I've always said that. I respect Orie as a as a man, as a dad, everything. He's a good guy. I've always thought that. I just don't agree with this, but I mean, but Orie's a good guy and a good dad. I can't say that he's not.
Any history of physical, emotional, or sexual abuse or neglect of any child by you?
No, never.
Do you hold any hostility towards Mr. Cronkite, even though you don't agree with what he's doing here, that you do believe he's wrong in this situation?
I mean, yeah, I believe he's wrong, and it hurts me that he's keeping my granddaughter from me. But I don't want nothing bad to happen to him, or I don't have no, I don't have no hostile feelings towards him. I love the guy. I've always loved him. I still do. I still love him. I always love him. He's Chloe's dad. I don't want nothing bad to happen to that guy.
What was that last part? You
I
broke
said I
up.
don't want nothing to ever happen bad to him. I said I love Orie and I respect Orie and I don't ever wish nothing bad to happen to him ever.
So would Ori indicate ever to you whether or not you and Carlena were doing a good job with Chloe?
He'd say it occasionally, yeah, and he'd also say how he can't believe how much Chloe loves us, and yeah, he's never said nothing really bad like that either. He always said Chloe loves us a lot, and she loves coming to our house, and yeah.
So how often would he say that?
I mean, I don't know. He said it to me a few times, not like not like once a week or nothing, but he's told me a few times.
I mean, how close did you and him get?
Well, me and Orie were real close. I looked at him as a son. I care about the guy. He's like a best friend and a son. We spent a lot of time together. We worked together every day, and I thought we had a great bond.
Have you ever told Chloe that Ori is not her father?
No, no, sir, never.
Was there ever a time many years ago that Taylor questioned whether or not Ori was the father?
Yes, I heard Taylor say that when Chloe was, first few months of her life, but it was just Taylor running off at
And
the mouth.
and how'd you respond to Taylor when you heard that?
I told her, I said, no. I said, Ori's your father, and don't ever say that again. I don't want to hear that. I always, from day one, I always thought Ori's her father. Ori is her father.
And have you ever heard Carlena say to anyone that Orie is not the father of Chloe?
No, no, or Carlena loves Orie as her father, and even her Orie's family. We've always, thought great of them. We've always cared about them. All of them. He's got a good family, and
Now, when Taylor made that comment many years ago, you said, so that must have been over 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Did Carlena say anything, or was Carlena around when she made that comment?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Just told her the same
Okay.
thing. You don't ever want to hear that again. Don't you ever say that. And it was just because Orie and her were fighting back then, and that's how she was. She started running her mouth, it's nonsense. Say stuff to hurt you.
Do you have any mental or physical health issues?
No,
Are you aware of any moral fitness issues that would impede your ability to be a good grandparent to Chloe or anyone else?
no.
Um, did you go to church with Chloe for a period of time?
Her and her Carlena and Carlena's mom would take her more than I went with her like once, but I couldn't go quite often. I'd be working or doing something else, so they take her more than I would ever go. Yeah.
I guess just so the court knows, I mean, was your relationship just a little bit different with Chloe than Carlena because you were working more?
Yes. Yes.
There, in about November of 23 or December of 23, did Orie confront you at your house about either things being said to Chloe or anything like that?
Yes.
Can you tell the court when that was?
It was in November. He come over one morning. We were heading to work, and he come in and started arguing with Carlena, telling her how she can't spoil Chloe no more, and this and that, and can't take her there, and it just snowballed into an argument between me and Orie. Then next thing you know, Orie quit working for me, and it just that's it.
Okay. Um, did you were you physical with Mr. Cronkite?
No, I had to I grabbed him by his shirt. That was it. I didn't touch him. I didn't ever touch, hit him or smack him or nothing like that. Just because he wouldn't stop screaming in my face. But
So
I
when he
mean, we
was
didn't never
screaming
have
in your
no.
face, when he was screaming in your face, what was he saying?
He was telling me how much of a low life my daughter was. I just got tired of hearing it.
Well, I mean, what specifically was he saying?
He said that my daughter was a low life piece of shit and a drug addict, loser, and this and that. And then I said a few things, and yeah, that's why.
And what do you, okay. And then from that date forward, you have not seen Chloe.
No, no, that was the last time.
And how many have you reached out to him on more than one occasion to try to resolve
Yes.
any differences?
I tried working it out right, like within a few weeks after all this happened, early December, or, late within a couple, 2, 3 weeks, and he wasn't having it. Then also in the last couple of months, I've also reached out to him, and just he wouldn't even respond this time. No response. Because that's what I said. I just replied. I said, "Orie, can we just work this out? I just want to see Chloe. That's all I want to do is just see my granddaughter." I said, "I don't want to have no problems with you or nothing. I just want to see my granddaughter." And no response. Won't even budge.
And so you want to bury any hatchet or any ill will that might be there, but it appears that Mr. Cronkite will not respond to you.
Yes, I mean, only had no hard feelings. I just want to move forward and see Chloe and you know, I don't have no hard feelings with him or nothing. I just want to be in Chloe's life and get along with Orie, you know, it's her dad, and I just want to be part of their life.
And do you think it would be in Chloe's in her best emotional or psychological well-being for her to see you guys?
Yes. Yes, Chloe
And why do
loves
you
us. I
say
know
that?
she does. Because I can tell every time she's with us, the way she interacted with us, and it's genuine. She loves us. She would tell me all the time, Papa, you're my best Papa.
Objection, hearsay.
Dane,
And
She would walk in the house and grab me by my neck and hug me so tight. I'd be like, let go, honey, you're choking Papa, you're choking me. She would do that kind of stuff. Or
And-
grab me by the hand and walk me out to the swing set all the time.
so, Mr. Cronkite, up until that, I guess, blow up end of 2023, he never once indicated that you guys were doing anything inappropriate with, or he never indicated to you that you were doing anything inappropriate with Chloe.
No, no, but the last couple of weeks that he was working for me, I kind of got a sense that something was up. And I asked him on 2 or 3 different occasions. I said, Orie, is there anything you want to talk about? Is everything okay, buddy? Oh yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I said, you sure? And never once said anything. No indication or nothing. It's just like come out of nowhere. They come right out of nowhere. But I could sense it. It was coming. I could sense something wasn't right. The last 2, 3 weeks.
But he had always said that you guys were great grandparents
Yes.
and that you had a close bond with Chloe.
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
okay. Ms. Reed, any cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Morgan, do you use Facebook?
Yes.
Do you recall posting on Facebook in February of this year, been 4 months saying, seeing my baby girl, just know I'm not letting this slide. When you play with fire, you get burnt.
Yeah.
And is that
Yeah.
directed to Orie?
Oh, I was mad and I posted it, yeah, because I seen him prior to that and he was screaming at me and everything else. But yeah, since then I haven't even made no contact or nothing with him. I haven't even posted nothing like that.
And are you currently at Cindy and Don Plain's home?
No.
Objection to relevance, Your Honor. Why
Okay,
does it matter where he's at?
what's the relevance?
It's relevant in that Miss Toledo testified that she was just there with Mr. Morgan. And I saw someone poke their head in that it's definitely not Mr. Morgan. And I asked her who she was there with. So I'm going to ask Mr. Morgan who was present in the home with him.
Oh, nobody's here now. Carlena and myself.
Was Stephanie playing there?
No. No, my father was here earlier.
No further questions.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Bartel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Morgan, that'll conclude your testimony. Thank you. You're free to go do whatever you want. So.
All right. Thank you, sir.